touching your hair or asking weird questions like, oh, where's that from? Oh my gosh, how do you do that? Funsho, you need to stop. Today we're going to be talking about what it's like being black at the University of Bristol. So first things first, we need to go over certain things. Everyone's so sensitive these days. People are so sensitive.
First things first, these are my personal experiences. This is not to say this goes for everyone or every black person. These are my personal experiences at university and how I feel being black, alright? Every black person is entitled to their own personal opinion and experience. Second, when I speak about my experience in relation to other races at my university, especially the ethnic majority being white, I'm not speaking on behalf of all of them. When I give some experiences and some examples, I'm not saying that this is how all white people are in my uni or how all black people are. I'm just talking about my personal experience. Third, please do not get offended by this. If you get offended, that means you don't listen to instruction, because the instruction is do not get offended. Alright? Fourth thing, last. I am not playing victim. I am not saying that, oh, my life is hard being black and that my uni is crap or whatever. I am not playing victim. I love being black. I love going to the University of Bristol. I have an amazing life, amazing uni, whatever. I'm just talking about some of the experiences I get being black. And I'm going to go into that, but I'm not playing victim. I'm good. You're good. We're all good. So let's get into the video.
I wrote a few notes. I had the brain of a goldfish, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at, my phone. So first thing, I think at times at uni, especially at the University of Bristol, which is majority white, very majority white, you can often feel like the other, which I feel like sometimes I feel out of place. Sometimes I feel like this space is not for me. Certain things like going to tutorials and I'm one of two ethnic minority students there, or going to my course, for instance, and I can literally, of like 300 people in a lecture theatre or hall, and I can literally count like 3 black people. Sometimes I can feel like I don't belong and I'm not supposed to be here. Sometimes I can get like that. And I'm sure this is not just at the University of Bristol. I'm sure this is at many other universities all over the country. The curriculum, like, it's very white in the sense that it's not tailored to my background, it's not tailored to my identity. A lot of the things that do touch on my identity and my background are misrepresented or painted in a way, in a negative light. Especially if you do something like a social science at uni, they might touch upon being African or African nation, but it's not always in a positive light. So things related to being black, for instance, aren't painted necessarily beautifully. All my lecturers are white. All my tutorial teachers or tutors are white. I know that some of my friends have had maybe black or ethnic minority tutorial tutors, but I don't even think any of them have non-white lecturers, and that's ridiculous. That's crazy. So things like that can often be demoralizing. Like when I walk through uni, for instance, I notice that I feel very black. I know I'm black. Like, there is no mistaking that I'm black. I'm very aware of my skin color. I also notice every non-white person. Not to say that that's necessarily bad thing, but that's just how I feel. If I'm in London, I don't really notice when black people walk down the road or when I see Asians or whatever, because there's so many, in some parts of London, especially the area that I grew up in. Another thing is that I often feel like I have to break the stereotype. I feel that burden on myself. There is a lot of private school students at my university. I think it has the second most intakes in the whole of the UK. With private schools mean a high percentage of white people. For some people who have not necessarily had a conversation with black people or don't really have black friends or ethnic minority friends, it's easy to lead with prejudice. So at times I feel pressure or burden to, not in a negative way as the word burden sounds, but I just feel like I have to not play into the stereotypes. And I don't think that that thought crosses in the mind of my white peers, for instance, where they feel like they have to act a certain way so they don't fall into the stereotype, or so they don't worsen the image of their race. I feel the pressure not to make black people look bad. Another thing is, I've noticed so many people converse with me, but they change the way they act because I'm black. I have people coming up to me saying things like wagwan. Why? I remember this incident when I was in first year, and I was waiting at the bus stop. It literally felt like an hour's wait speaking to this guy. Let me not exaggerate, it was more like half an hour. I was waiting at the bus stop waiting for the bus, and I saw this guy who lives around my accommodation in first year, and we were just having general chit chat. Hi, where you coming from? Da, da, da. Then the next thing, he starts talking about Stormzy. I am literally so confused.
Super confused.
I'm trying to piece it together. It becomes apparent that because I'm black, we're having a conversation about Stormzy. I don't listen to Stormzy, so all I know is
a backup dancer on stage at the Brits. I'm a backup dancer. If that makes me a backup dancer, the man in
you could almost see his train of thought, which was like gathering all the information about black people that he knew to have a conversation with me. That doesn't make sense. I'm not gathering, oh, Taylor Swift, Eminem, because you're white, and oh, this is what you will like to talk about. No, I have many interests that's not defined by my skin color, and that's not an isolated incident. A more recent one was when my friends and I, we went to check out this building to hire for an event, and the guy who was like almost helping us with it, he said, oh, he has a rap, and then he started rapping. He did this twice. We were so confused, and we're looking at each other thinking, if these were white people, we would not be having this conversation, we will not be talking about this. So I was genuinely really confused by that. And I think for some people who have not necessarily had a conversation with black people, or don't really have black friends, it's a thing where I notice where they think, oh, I speak like this to you, or I have conversations about these things to you. You don't need to fist bump me, you don't need to say what I want to me, you don't need to do certain things. Just act normally because I'm normal. At uni, like, I think, I don't know if like the education system is what, like perpetuating ignorance or something. I think it does, because even for me, a lot of my wokeness has come not from being in my course or studying, has come from having conversations with people, researching into certain things, and going out of my way to find out these informations. Is information's a word?
What am I trying to say?
Information.
Okay.
Whatever. Find out these information. A number of people don't know what white privilege means, or don't believe they have white privilege, and it blows my mind. You thinking you have no white privilege is you removing yourself from the race conversation, and that goes to show that you do have white privilege, because you are at liberty to remove yourself from the conversation. Not a lot of black people can actually say, oh, race doesn't affect me, I'm going to remove myself from this. And for you to say you have no white privilege, essentially removing yourself from the conversation, shows that you have white privilege, because you are at liberty to remove yourself because it doesn't affect you. I think also you just generally get the general stuff, like people touching your hair or asking weird questions, like, oh, where's that from? Oh my gosh, how do you do that? Funsho, you need to stop. Sometimes you can get people touching your hair or asking weird questions, and you feel alien. Sometimes it can become like that. Sometimes it can feel very alienating when you just feel like other, or you feel out of place, or you feel not normal, when weird questions or weird things are being asked or done to you. But in my case, I'm not even gonna lie, I found that a lot of black people as well just stick their hand in your hair as well. So it's not even just white people, black people stick their hands in your hair. And I'm here singing, don't touch my hair. The Lord said it best, nobody touch my hair because I just washed it and your hands are dirty. Thank you very much. I also noticed that quite a few are ignorant to the issues that are actually real, that racism is real and inequality as a result of the social structures based on race is real. And what all of these leads to is me feeling like I'm crazy sometimes. You're made to feel like I shouldn't talk about it, first of all, if I'm the only one feeling like that, and secondly, it's not a big deal because no one else is saying anything. So sometimes being in a white majority uni, like that's massively white majority, can feel like you're just in your head. Also, noticing stats like black students are less likely to go first, black students are less likely to go to university, black graduates are less likely to earn more than white graduates. All these stats and all these facts can be demoralizing at times. Like, it makes you feel like less. However, what's helped me being at uni is joining societies and finding a community such as the African and Caribbean Society I'm very involved in. Being around people like you, people from who can relate to me when I'm talking about stuff like this, can understand my university experience being black, people who also have maybe African heritage. There's just a community that you can find, and that's the amazing thing about uni. There's so many different societies, so many different communities you can get involved in and not feel isolated or not feel like you don't belong to uni. Even though in most cases it's majority white, you can still find a community at uni. It'll be amazing really to see more black people apply for Russell Group unis. I think that will obviously improve diversity. If more black people applied for Russell Group unis and didn't just feel like they weren't good enough, this will filter through as they go up the career ladder, improve their chances, because obviously graduates are more likely to earn more than non-graduates. I enjoy being at uni, I enjoy being black. It's not, I don't walk around feeling like, oh, I'm black, life is like, that's not what it's about. But it's just these subtle things at times that mount up and definitely affect my experience or add to my experience, and sometimes it's good to talk about it like I'm doing right now. So I definitely want to start a conversation on this. So guys, comment down below on your experience at uni, being black, being white. The colors of the rainbow. Please comment down below. If you haven't subscribed, I will advise that you consider subscribing. After considering it, definitely do subscribe. Like, share, and hit the notification bell. Do all of that good stuff. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.